Hello class, my name is Trey Strube and welcome to my case study presentation on the City of Newport Richey's first read agenda item, changes to the Newport Richey Library Ordinance. I attended the City Council meeting on September 7th. The ordinance number is 2021-2234. I will provide a link to the agenda and the video broadcast of the meeting below and at the end of the video. I met with Library Director Andrea Figart on September 2nd to discuss the issue. Let's get started by identifying the issue. The current Newport Richey Library Ordinance is outdated. The increase in library patrons and updates to technology require changes to the Library Ordinance to better serve the community. Now, let's analyze the proposed changes to the Library Ordinance. The Library Advisory Board is requesting that City Council approve the following changes: increasing board membership from 7 to 9 people and eliminating temporary members, increasing the quorum to reflect the membership change, updating verbiage to reflect modern media, correcting minor issues in the ordinance, increasing the volunteer wage to repay library debts from the current $1 an hour rate to the minimum wage. What is the history surrounding the issue? The Newport Richey Library was founded in 1920. The library is governed by Florida Statute 257, operating rules for public libraries in Florida. The library ordinance has not been changed in more than 6 years. The population of Newport Richey grew more than 15% since the 2010 census. According to the library's long-term plan, the Newport Richey poverty rate is 24.7%, and only 14% of those 25 and older have a bachelor's degree. These numbers are half the average in the state of Florida. According to the library's long-term plan, the library has 471,581 visits per year, exemplifying its importance to the Newport Richey community. The library, which I visited on September 2nd, is currently undergoing renovations as part of its long-range plan. The library is currently still open, but everything is on the second floor. Who are the stakeholders? Number 1 is Library Director Andrea Figart. Number 2 is the Library Advisory Board. 3 are the library patrons and the Newport Richey community. Number 4 is City Council. Number 5 are other libraries. Let's analyze the stakeholder perspectives. For Library Director Andrea Figart, her perspective is the ordinance has not been changed in more than 6 years. The verbiage is very outdated. The current library debt credit for volunteer hours is only $1, and very few opt to volunteer to repay library debts. The permanent members of the board tend to be more engaged than alternate members. The increase in permanent board members and the quorum will streamline the library board. The library board's perspective is there will be more input and advisory board meetings with the additional 2 members. Today, they feel that libraries are more of a community center. The advancements in technology require updates to the library ordinance verbiage to reflect new media sources. The volunteer hour wage increase will be beneficial for both the community and the library. The perspective of the library members and Newport Richey community is that library resources are vital to the community. The library promotes education, literacy, and provides community engagement opportunities. The changes to the ordinance will benefit the community. The perspective of City Council is that council members stated the library board was the most active board in Newport Richey. They support the library board changes and is very appreciative of the work the board and Ms. Figart does for the community. The perspective of other libraries in the area: libraries consult with one another and model programs after successful ones. Other libraries may make similar changes like the volunteer hour wage rate if that's a successful program. Let's go over the expert opinion. On September 2nd, I met with Newport Richey Library Director Andrea Figart. Due to the library renovations, her temporary office is at City Hall. I met with her at 11 a.m. and had about an hour-long conversation regarding the changes to the library ordinance and her public service career. Ms. Figart's nickname is Andy, so I'll refer to her as that throughout the rest of the video. We did exchange business cards. I have hers here, and I gave her a copy of mine. Andy has been in her position as director since June 19th, 2017. She has a master's degree in library information services. I asked her some questions regarding the Library Advisory Board. Andy informed me that the board meets once per month, except in December. They use Robert's Rule of Order, and the meetings are open to the public. I asked her if she was in favor of the changes to the library ordinance, or if she saw any issues with any of the changes, and she told me she was in favor of all of the changes to the ordinance. I asked her if the additional board members would increase library funding. Andy informed me that she did not anticipate additional funding, mainly because it's handled by the Friends of the Library. They actually raise the funds, and then it's spoken about in the board meetings. She also told me that when it comes to fundraising, a win for one department is a win for the whole community. Andy did anticipate that the permanent members would be more engaged than temporary ones, and the changes would streamline the Library Advisory Board. Regarding the volunteer wage rate increase, Andy told me that they purposely worded this as minimum wage so that if the state minimum wage increases, the library minimum wage will also reflect that. I asked her if there was anything she would like to share with the students in the public policy program. Andy told me that you should look to people that are great examples of public servants and learn by example, and to keep in mind that a public service career can be very challenging, and you will always be in the eye of the public and your colleagues. After the interview, Andy followed up with an email and asked me if there was anything else I needed to feel free to contact her. She was a huge help throughout this project. I thanked her in the email for the interview, and then I wrote a handwritten thank you letter, which I mailed to her office with the SBC letterhead on it. I'd like to give a huge thanks to Newport Richey City Clerk Judy Myers. Ms. Myers is a graduate of our program. She graduated SBC in 2015. She helped me along the way with all the scheduling and coordinating everything, and it was a pleasure working with Ms. Myers. Let's go over the recommendation. I recommend that City Council vote to pass the motion and update the library ordinance with all proposed changes. These changes will streamline the library board, update verbiage, correct errors, and promote volunteer hours at the library. I'm going to attach the government entity observation participation form to the end of this video. I would like to quickly go over the council meeting that occurred on September 7th, 2021. The library ordinance number was 2021-2234. And Ms. Lipkin, a library advisory board member, was speaking on behalf of the board. She did ask that they make all the proposed changes to streamline the ordinance. And the result of that meeting was that City Council did in fact vote all in favor to pass the motion. Thank you for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it.